Hello and welcome back to the Stocks with Tusky YouTube channel, YouTube's favourite capitalist pig. And today I'm going to be challenging myself a little bit. We are looking into EROAD, which is a growth company. Now, I'm normally a value/dividend investor, so I struggle to value growth companies a wee bit, and to be quite frank, my track record has been, yes. But regardless, looking into EROAD. EROAD is essentially a tech company that creates GPS and tracking units for the trucking industry. It takes care of your road user charges, your logbooks, everything like that, all in one unit, which is installed in the vehicle. This is a brilliant example of a recurring revenue model, which is essentially you've signed up to this company, you've bought one of these units, and now you are going to be paying a monthly subscription fee to keep using the software on it. It's known as SaaS, or software as a service. So basically, the more customers this company brings in, it's just going to keep bringing in cash flow over time. If you want to think of other examples, even think of something like your power company. Once they've signed you on as a customer, as long as they don't lose you as a customer, they're just going to keep bringing in that money recurring over time, which is an excellent business model rather than something that would be a one-off purchase like a dishwasher or something like that, where you've bought this item once and you're not going to need one for several more years. But anyway, we will head to Simply Wall Street and go through the numbers on this a wee bit. So the growth on this is ridiculous. We're projected to grow 57%. It has grown more over the past few years, but I actually didn't expect this, but we have actually had some impacts from COVID on this company, which you wouldn't expect with their business model in particular. Yet again, when we're looking into companies at this particular period in time, you cannot trust the 1 year return, because you're looking at the company now compared to how it was in the middle of the lockdowns when everyone thought that the world was falling apart. So can safely ignore those numbers. Simply Wall Street seems to think that this one is undervalued, and they're comparing that. I don't know how. If you're using price to earnings, which some people mistakenly use to compare the value of a company, this thing is a 250 price to earnings compared to the industry, which is 27. That's ridiculous. This company's growing so fast, you can't compare it to a larger, more established company that's been around for a lot longer, because these guys are just growing so quick, it is ridiculous. That being said, a lot of that growth has been priced into it, so if anything were to go wrong, the share price could fall apart pretty damn quickly. We have the projected growth, which once again, looking damn good. Only 2 analysts covering this stock, unfortunately, but that is quite common with smaller New Zealand companies, so it is what it is. Heading down, so we were unprofitable for quite a while. It is good to see that we are profitable now, and that revenue is projected to keep improving. They've done quite well in the past, but honestly that has not much to do with future potential. I'm quite happy with their financial position. That this company is in a good spot when it comes to cash to liabilities, assets to liabilities rather, and you'll see that when we come down to debt to equity as well. I like to see the equity going up and debt going down. It's not great that they have that much debt, but once again, you can't sort of compare this to traditional companies as much. They're expanding so rapidly that they have to take on debt to expand. If they weren't, that would be more of a concern in itself. Dividend we can ignore. We're not going to be getting one for a very long time. might become a dividend play some point in a decade, but not going to be happening now. The only other thing of note on simply Wall Street, at least, is that we have had some insider selling a wee bit, which is a bit of a concern. Nothing recently, which is good. So some of this could have, given that it's 9 to 12 months ago, I'm not worried about the institutions as much, but the individual insiders can be a bit worrying when they're selling off. For example, with A2, we did see the CEO selling off a lot of shares as he resigned, as things absolutely hit the proverbial fan. So I don't like to see that, but hasn't been as recent. So this could have just been COVID fears. Rona fears. Don't censor me, YouTube. But yeah, not too much more to say other than that with the financials. They're looking pretty damn decent. So the other thing to talk about is recently these guys have raised capital to buy out some of their competition, which is nice to see. It does dilute shareholder value a bit, but if the company that they've brought out brings more value to the company and eliminates some competition, that can be worth it. So when they announced that capital raise, I have actually participated in it, and I have bought a small amount of EROAD stock. I'm looking to grow that position a wee bit going forward, but this is just going to be a small speculative investment and isn't going to be any major part of my portfolio. Just something that I'm going to keep hold of because I love their business model. I'm just not so sure I'm thrilled about the current valuation. You do have to pay a premium for companies like this, but yeah, as I said, I struggle to value growth companies, so it's probably something I'm going to do a lot more research on. Which brings us to the final part of this video. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Even if I were a financial advisor, I am not your financial advisor, so please don't buy things based on what you see other YouTubers buying. That is a terrible idea. I do quite like this company, I do quite like its business model, and I am buying into it personally. But, please don't take that as a recommendation to buy yourself. Always do your own research. Alright, and that's about all we have time for in this video, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers!